is going on, ladies and gentlemen? It is your boy Sean Spencer, one half of that dynamic duo that is Let's Talk Football. And ladies and gentlemen, yeah, it's the middle of the week. It's Wednesday. So you know what that means. Happy Hump Day! And if it's Wednesday, you know it's time for Washington Football Weekly, which means I must be with my guy. I must be with my guy from the steamiest place, the hottest place in America, South Carolina's finest, Will Kramer. What up, Will?
What's going on, man? You ain't kidding when you say it's hot here. Let me tell you something. I don't know why I'm trying to watch the cap score and it was making noise. Sorry about that in my headphones. It was upper 70s today. I went out and played 18 holes of golf with my father-in-law. I'm having a great little Wednesday. The Caps have started. Ovi is back. Hockey's back. I'm enjoying that. So, it's a good little Wednesday. And now we get to top it off by talking some Washington. So it's a good little day.
Absolutely nothing could be sweeter than talking about our team. Even though we did take another L, ladies and gentlemen, but it doesn't matter. We're still here. We're going to be here. And we got a couple special guests for you today. We are so very excited that we have these guests.
Excited for tonight's show.
Oh, yeah. Because we got a game tomorrow night, ladies and gentlemen. We play the Bears, the Chicago Bears in Soldier Field, Chicago. So excited. Nicholas Rosario and Delilah Crespo will be joining us. And real quick, speaking of them and our coach, we have today is the 12th, 3 more days left for Hispanic Heritage Month. Definitely want to shout them out for Hispanic Heritage Month. Our coach, Ron Rivera of Latino descent. Definitely want to shout them out for that month. It is September 15th to October 15th. So definitely want to shout out all the contributions and everything that the Hispanic community has done for this great country and the world. So happy Hispanic Heritage Month to you guys. And Will, speaking of celebrations, 1939, it was a blessed day. Okay, October 11th, the great Bob Spencer, my father, was born. Happy birthday, Dad. 83 years young. Just got back from Cancun.
That's awesome.
Wedding. Oh, my God. My dad is still moving and grooving. Finally retired for good, living in North Carolina, Smithfield, with my mom, living their best life.
Awesome.
Apparently, my dad and my mom went up to see one of my dad's oldest friends that he grew up like on the block with in like the 50s and all that stuff. Ended up moving to Charlotte. So my dad actually got a chance to hang out with him. They were just back and forth. And I'm just like, oh, my goodness. I would have loved to have been on the fly of the wall and just sat there and just listened to those stories.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
So absolutely.
That's awesome. Happy birthday to Papa Spencer.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And Drew, what is going on? Mr. Faux Bear.
Hey, go Caps. That's all I can say to you. Go Caps.
See that? Hockey. You see the shirt. You see the shirt he's wearing.
It's a special day.
Let's go. But look, ladies and gentlemen, we know why you're here. You're here to talk football. And unfortunately, Game 5 did not go the way we wanted it to, and we're going to go ahead and recap it. The Tennessee Titans come away with a victory in a 21-17 game. I'm going to tell you, to be quite honest, my thoughts on Sunday, which happens a lot, my thoughts on Sunday were a lot rougher than my thoughts were today. I'm calm. I've gone back and watched the tape. I've listened to the podcast and the press conferences, and I didn't buy into all the extra stuff. We know some of the things we're going to talk about later, what our coach said and things like that. Look, nobody's happy about being 1-4. Okay, we struggled, but there was a lot of bright spots in this ball game, Will, and there's a lot of things that we can build on. And I know every 1-4 team wants to say this, but I kind of feel like we might be one of the better 1-4 teams out there. Oh my goodness! Well,
David. I mean, it's right. That's it. We might be one of the better of all the teams that sucked this year. We may be all the best of the teams that suck.
Right.
You know, no, man, this one hurt. I'm not gonna lie. This one hurt because it was the most winnable that we had. I mean, we're sitting there at the goal line at the 2-yard line. I told you all before, you, Anton, Ab, you're going home happy as winners that game. Mm-hmm. I'm like, here it is. And then we had that pick, and it's like, it's just so deflating for the game to end all of a sudden that quickly. Boom, snatched away from you. And then you start to hype it. So that one was rough, man. I needed some time to get over it.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And I'm not going to lie. Like, I'm kind of to the point where I don't know how much money I want to spend to go to support Dan Snyder and some of the things that are going on in Washington. One thing exemplifies that in a nutshell. I got one beer, Will. I think it was a 22 ounce, $17.
Oh my gosh.
I didn't even want to drink it. I went, here, take it back. Like, I don't, what the hell? I'm sorry, but that is absolutely awful. But ladies and gentlemen, like Will alluded to, I was at the game, as was Anton, as was Ab. Didn't get a chance to see Ab. I saw him on Facebook talking about he's potentially giving out the tickets, and apparently, since my phone is not the greatest, I can't get there.
Nope, you wouldn't know.
Right.
You have no idea. The world is passing you by, Sean, because of that phone of yours.
Oh, my goodness. But I was there. It was absolutely beautiful. My sister was able to get me tickets. She actually asked in the group chat right after the Cowboys game. She's like, I got 6 tickets to the game next week. And she was like, they're free. And I seriously debated it, ladies and gentlemen. I was seriously like, where are they? She's like, they're free. I said, I know, but I mean, where are they? Like, I need to know because I can't deal with this. So they were actually pretty good seats. I got a couple of videos. She was there because it was part of breast cancer awareness. They had the whole pink thing going. My sister, love her dealer. My older sister is a breast cancer survivor. So she was able to get multiple tickets. She was actually there. My cat and I were able to see her and hang out with her for a little bit. I want to kind of show you where I was sitting and just a couple of things they did in here.
Do you mind sending me a ticket so I can go to the bathroom?
Okay, I don't know how to do that. You want me to go with you? I can go out with you.
I'll just let the guy know.
Well, no, I'll go out with you.
Okay.
You ready to go out?
Yeah, I just want to pee. I'll wait. I'll wait till the waiter's ready. Let's go, Washington! Woo!
Wow, I never believed it. But now that I see it, yeah, this stadium is kind of empty, especially because last week we got to Pittsburgh. Yeah.
Yeah, buddy. And first and foremost, I apologize that me and my fiance were talking about having to go to the bathroom. I did not know that audio was caught on there. But yeah, no, absolutely. Like Nicole said, my bucket list to see an actual game. Glad you're able to celebrate with your fam. It being there, Will, you know about it. Like I don't care how mad I can get at the team. There's something special about being there, being in the atmosphere with everybody. You heard in the video we said there wasn't that many people there. It filled up as the game went on.
Okay.
But the chants were loud, man. And it wasn't hail. It was Henry, or let's go Titans, or defense. And I'm like, we're on the field. What? All these Titans fans.
Interesting, because you couldn't hear that on TV. I did see blue. You saw a lot of blue. It stands out, but it didn't seem as other ones did. But you would get to experience. You had a different experience than I could.
Yeah, and look, they were brazen. They were bold. The Titans fans were loud. We had a guy that was kind of sitting like cat-cornered behind us, just going in like tighten up like every 5 minutes. And I was cool with it. I wasn't tripping. I wasn't expecting much. But he was saying it on that last drive, and there was a point where I looked over like, bro, don't let us win this game. You know what I mean? And maybe that's the reason why we lost it. But look, let's go into kind of the game. It was a great affair being there. A lot of good moments. Obviously, I'm going to talk about a couple of them. My guy finally showed up.
You get all the time to talk about this. I will
So
defer
excited.
to you when we get
So
to it.
excited.
Yes.
Let's go. But let's break down our keys. Let's evaluate our keys to the game that we brought up last week. Will, I'm going to let you go first, man. Talk about some of the things that we said and if they actually did that.
Yeah, I got two, but I'll start with one. So the first one, I hope I'm not stealing yours, is we said they needed to stop Derrick Henry.
Yep.
Okay. And for the most part, they did.
Yeah.
He had over 100 yards. So like that's kind of like a barometer of how many 100-yard rusher games do you give up to as a defense. Sorry, I can't speak tonight. And so like that, while that is a statistic and a barometer, it took him 28 carries to get there. You know, now he had a couple impactful runs. There were a few times, I think there was a 4th down run. It's like, well, what are you going to do? What do you think they're going to do? When he got the first down, because he's a big dude. And he had a couple times he gashed them, but for the most part, I mean, 28 carries for 102 yards means you're not getting crushed by the run. Exactly. And that is the key to their offense. And so they did. He got a touchdown, yes, but like they did a pretty decent job of containing that rushing attack. So I was impressed by that.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. And I know I'm looking back at that 4th and 1. We actually strung the play out. You know what I mean? And we were kind of keeping him away. And then, arm tackles. You can't arm tackle Derrick Henry. We weren't wrapping up, and he did get that first. But yeah, no, I like it. That's something I looked at, and I kept thinking like during the game, oh, is he under 100? Is he under 100? But he just did get over with his 2 touchdowns. For me, one of the keys that I had said, we need to take a shot early. We need to take a shot at the beginning of the drive, early and often. I believe on 3 first downs, or one of them was like a 2nd and 1, taking a shot. The early one to De'Ami Brown, we took a shot early in the drive, and that was huge for us. I mean, if I'm not mistaken, like our first offensive drive, we take a shot deep. Those are the things we want, because what that does is now that takes those safeties out of the box. That brings those guys back. Maybe those linebackers think twice before coming up, because we were able to get deep and get behind them. I loved that. Obviously, we'll talk about some penalties and things kind of pulled us back to where we took us out of those situations. But you can definitely tell the plays were there. And in fact, in one play that we'll talk about later, that we ended up challenging the Cam Sims incompletion. If you go back and look at that play, McLaurin was running a post to the opposite side. The corner on that back end came up because we had an underneath route to Samuel. So we had an open play deep. And know me. You know me. I was in there like, he's open. And I'm sitting on my chair yelling, Carson, do you not see him? I was livid.
He didn't. No.
But again, this is the benefit of us being in the crowd, seeing the whole field, and him having the rush and everything go in there. And look, it was a good pass for what it was, but that one kind of bit me. But I do like the fact that we went deep early and often. It was something that it's going to put fear in those defenders, and it'll open up our offense.
Yep. Well, on that play, it's funny you said that. I did not know they ran a combo route and Terry was behind him, because I saw Samuel looking at him.
Yeah.
You could have gone underneath too. So the second key that I wanted to see happen was to avoid or contain Jeffrey Simmons. We did not do that. He had 3 tackles. He had 2 assisted tackles, and he had 1.5 sacks. So, dude is a monster in there. That's not easy to do, and that's a tougher task when you've got the likes of Andrew Norwell, Nick Martin, and Sadiq Charles as your starting guards and center. They are not going to get the job done. So while he made some plays, luckily, none of his plays were so impactful in the game that they were game-changing plays, strip sacks, that type of stuff. Except for when we get to the final drive, I did see something that he did. But he's a monster. They did the best they could. He made some plays, but luckily they weren't too impactful.
Right. And I mean, that directly goes with mine. And my last thing was that to establish the run. We didn't do that. We had under 50 yards on the ground. And the lone bright spot, shout out to our guy, number 8, Brian Robinson. miraculously coming back on the field after the gunshot situation, after dealing with that and that recovery. It was so amazing. You want to talk about electric, Will? It was amazing. He comes onto the field. They're singing many men, many, 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 many men, wish death upon me. That like the 50 Cent song. And he comes on the field with that. Woo! I mean, you want to talk about a crowd. That was a feeling. I got chills thinking about that. The crowd stood up. Everybody was roaring in there. At the end of the day, he was on a pitch count, had just under 10 carries, just a little about 20 yards. They didn't use him as much. It was great to see him in there, but it was weird, though, because Gibson didn't really get any attention. Samuel didn't get any attention. Our second leading rusher was Carson Wentz, who had 15 yards. You know what I mean? So we averaged as a team under 3 yards a carry. It was stressful. And part of that was Sims. Part of that was that defense that wasn't necessarily blowing everything up, but they were definitely shutting down the run. And that hurt us in the long run. Essentially, we were still in the game towards the end, but when we got behind the chains a little bit and we could not run the ball, that definitely affected the play calling. So
definitely. Absolutely. I know. I really thought there was going to be a Brian Robinson touchdown.
I did too.
I just figured that was just be poetic.
I did too.
It's coming. It's coming Thursday.
It is.
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna get too ahead of myself. But I was one of the people, and you know this because on Sunday I was saying in the group chat, I was one of the people that said, "You brought this man back. He is back. Give him the damn ball." I was the person. Yes, Will. I said it. After I look back at it, the fact that we didn't have any timeouts in that last.
Oh, you're talking about the final drive.
I'm talking about the final drive.
Oh, are you agreeing with me now?
Okay. Oh, yeah. Wow. See that? This is why I don't agree with you on camera, all right? No, and you're. I mean, look, I still. We'll talk about that. We'll break that down.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely, you have him back, and these are the reasons why you have this type of a runner, this type of a bruising runner, similar to a Najee Harris. You know what I mean? Somebody that when you need short yards, you need a couple yards, give him the damn ball. He'll make it happen. But we'll definitely get into that. But look, we've been talking good things. Do you have any more of our keys from last week?
No, that was it.
Yeah, we've been talking good things. Let's continue to talk about it. Let's continue to go into the positives. I'm going to start. I'm going to absolutely start. Everybody jumps on Carson. I'm not going to say him yet. I'm saving him for the game balls. I'm not doing it. I'm not, because I actually got some interesting things about him. So I'm not going to look. They're not going to call me a homer. All right. I'm excited. It's tempered. But no, honestly, I'm going to start with Carson. We know about all the hate. We know about even our own fans. We are in the group chat where they're sitting here saying, call for Carson's head. Is it Sam Howell time? Do we need to get Heineke in here? X, Y, and Z. We got pressured a lot this game, but Carson stood in there. He took us down the field at the very end of the game. We know over 300 yards, 2 TDs, one of the top tier passers yardage wise in the game right now. Look, we got to be patient with him. Okay. We faced the likes of Dallas, who has a solid defense. Tennessee, their defense is, especially their secondary, is nothing to sleep on. Philly, we know what they're doing. Detroit played the game of their lives, and we saw the Jacksonville. But look, we've played top tier defenses coming through this week, and Carson has not disappointed. Now, Nate, not all the his decision making is where we might want it, and maybe he's holding the ball too long. But you know what, though, Will, and you've said this all off season, he brings us that opportunity to go deep. He brings us that deep threat that we have not had in years. And he will take those chances. So it's almost like Diggs with Dallas. I'll take him trying to jump a pass and barely missing it and then maybe going back because you know what he's going to get if he gets the ball, if he gets the interception. I'll take Carson holding the ball a little bit longer because you know if he can get it, it's there. And we've seen it. We saw it a lot in this game. I have to shout him out because I'm really excited. This is the Carson I wanted to see. Now we didn't win, but I can build with. I can work with this. I want you to stay, Carson. That's where I am. So, Will, what are you thinking?
You just said I want you to stay.
At one point, if we would have gone on live, you would have said I want Heineke to be my starter. So we say a lot of things earlier this season.
Like, are you trying to say like you want him to stay like this season, or you want to stay longer than this season? What do you mean?
Look, we've talked about coaching. We've talked about, replacing and taking out. We got to give these guys an opportunity. Carson can get the job done. It's not going to get done in 1 year. I don't think that, because we have issues on that line. We need to get our backs going. We have a lot of receivers, but everybody's got to get on the same page. So honestly, from what I saw yesterday, that's what I wanted to see. I wanted to see Carson taking that shot. I wanted to see them coming in and Carson flicking the ball to somebody and keeping the drive alive. I want to see us have a chance. I didn't feel we had as much of a chance last year with Heineke or Haskins or, Alex Smith. Even with those, you're wishing that we had it. He provides that opportunity for us. So yes, if he continues to do that, I do want him to stay. And maybe, who knows? We'll see what a full 17 is like for him. But if he provides us with an opportunity that will allow our weapons to definitely exploit that defense. And yes, I want him to stay. Let's go.
Interesting. All right. I'm still on the wait and see mode with him, but I am very, very patient, especially this season, just like you're talking about. And some of that second touchdown pass was him calling an audible.
Yes.
And that's what, so there was a lot of criticism last week because they didn't really say whether or not he can or can't in it. And then he called an audible. And essentially what Ron was trying to say was this was his 5th game playing with these guys and with us. Like there's a feeling out period that continues to happen. And it can take some time. He was out with, without Jahan Dotson and having to learn what a couple, and Logan Thomas, and having to learn what those other guys are going to do, what their strengths are. And so it is taking him some time. But I do agree with you. He is a positive from Sunday. He once again had over 300 yards passing, 359 yards passing.
Yep.
Like you just said, he gives us something we have not had on this team in this city in years.
Yeah.
And it's not saying that he's the a top 10 quarterback in the league, but he gives us a chance to compete. And right now that's all we're looking for, out of it. I agree with you where he showed guts. Like not only was he making some runs on, he had a couple bad snaps that he picked up immediately and just went and dove and got 4 or 5 yards. He made something out of nothing. Do you remember? I think we threw a screen pass. He was downfield and he lowered his shoulder into the guy. Like
it was the run. It was the run to Robinson.
Was it a run? Okay,
he
all right.
Cut back and he kind of lived. Oh man, yeah.
So like you want to talk about a quarterback and that. Or a player that players are going to fight for. They're going to do more. You're right. And he did play well. He had 2 very, very impressive touchdown passes on Sunday. Yep. They were exactly stuff that his strengths and the stuff that we haven't had. So I agree. I really liked his play on Sunday as well. I'm going to switch over to the other side of the ball for my positive. And I'm going to talk about our just overall defense. Okay. We made a lot of key stops in that second half to give our offense the ball back. And there were a couple times, the end of the third and the fourth quarter when we made the stops so that we were able to get the ball back. Unfortunately, the offense kind of sputtered, but they were making plays. Our defensive line probably had their best game that we've had all season. All right. Yeah. They had 5 sacks. Multiple people got sacks. We only gave up 181 yards passing, which we really contained what Tennessee was able to do. They had pressure all day. Our guy Montez Sweat showed up, 2 sacks, 2 sacks, and he was a constant force. So they were really doing things. Your guy from UNC, Cole Holcomb, had 11 tackles. He was everywhere. They weren't spectacular. They followed their bend don't break, but they played really, really well, and they put us in a chance to compete and win it, and that's all we can ask for right now. So I was enjoying seeing our defense play.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely, man. They definitely did, and you take one play, you take that deep ball away on McCain, I mean, this whole thing changes. You take a couple penalties away here and there, and this game might not be as close as the score led on.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So, I mean, look, like you said, our defense played alive, and what that did was that then encouraged our offense, our wide receivers. They especially late in the game, they did what we needed to do. Yes,
Do it.
Finally, my guy came out here and did it. Finally, De'Ami Brown in North Carolina came out here and did first chance he got. They threw that post. And it was beautiful. He was right on. And I'm not gonna lie, Will. I was looking at it, and I kind of had just gotten up. I would come back, and I remember they throwing it, and I was like, oh, he's throwing it. I was like, who did they throw it to? And I was De'Ami! Yes! And I'm sitting here screaming like, let's go! Tar Heels! I lost my mind. Oh my goodness. I absolutely lost it. He came towards our end zone. So I'm yelling, De'Ami! I'm over here! Let's go! So I went off on that one. But that second one, that looked like it was something from the North Carolina, South Carolina game where he gave that little one hand, brought it in.
I forgot that play.
Yeah, it was beautiful. It was beautiful. I wish I had the clip.
Yeah.
De'Ami, he took advantage of that opportunity, and it was great. I mean, yes. I will talk about some of the negatives as far as when we're getting it to, maybe how many catches, this and that. But if you go back and look at Curtis Samuel, consistently getting it done. He had 6 catches for over 60 yards. McLaurin played big. And you know, one of the things I'm going to talk about in the negatives is maybe how long it's taking us to get it to him. Mm-hmm. But when we get it to him, and it kind of, at least in this game, made me feel like he's saying, okay, you're going to wait to give me the damn ball? Watch what happens when I get the damn ball. Because 3 or 4 plays, he's getting first downs, including on the last drive where it looked like he got stopped for a short play. He makes a move and cuts it and not only gets the first down, but gets out of bounds. Man, yes. Come on, man. So the wide receivers, in my opinion, like it goes with how well the quarterback played, yes, but they played up to par. You know, we talk about drops. We talk about, the receivers need to get it together. De'Ami, I talked about him all offseason coming into the season. They played. They showed up, and it goes back to similar to what you said about the defense. They did enough to win the game, and I'm impressed.
Yep, it was fun on Sunday, and I got to be honest. I caught a little cat nap during the game. A commercial happened right as we punted the ball, and so I missed the touchdown pass live. So it was only like, I probably slept 5-10 minutes, nothing much. But, I looked down and I was like, oh, it's 10-7. And then I see my phone and Sean Tate had blown me up. I checked the game thread that we had. You were going. I'm like, oh my gosh, De'Ami did something. Yeah. What happened? So I will round it so I could see it. And, I do want to say, I don't want him to fail. Like seeing him not succeed in this past this is his 22nd game in the NFL. Mm-hmm. It's not what I want to see. So I'm thrilled that he showed up. And if it just took some time, for them to figure out how they're going to use him, whatever, I don't care if he's going to be contributing because we could use his speed. We could use his ability. So I was thrilled to see it. I knew you were going to go crazy. Sean was going crazy. I mean, it was fun. So thank goodness. He finally showed up.
Right? We needed that. Mm-hmm. So I absolutely lost my mind there at the field. Obviously, it was such a great moment, but that was definitely something that I'm like, yes, okay, great. Finally, let's hope we can continue it, but we will see. Will, what do you have any more positives?
No, those were kind of the ones I had. It was the defense. I had De'Ami as well, but I knew I had to let you have that spotlight.
Let's go. I loved it. It made me feel so good. And it also, I'm not going to lie, I did say this to Kat. I was like, it's about damn time because I've been waiting on it. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to move on real quick. I'll give you a little 2-second breather so I can get my water, and then we'll be right back.
Dun, 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 dun.
Let's go. The Washington Commanders. There it is. Yeah, buddy. Washington Football Weekly. I'm your host, Sean Spencer. That's your host, Will Kramer. We're here to give you the ins and outs of this game. Unfortunately, we did take that L, but we had a lot of positives, Will, and I like that. I like that. I feel like our positives are kind of increasing.
There's a lot of encouragement that came from that game.
Yeah, so I like that. I like that. But look, we wouldn't be Washington fans if we didn't discuss the negatives. So, Will, I'm going to come to you first. You know, there was positives, but there was also some things that you can just be like, damn it, we can't get out of our own way. Yeah. Talk to me about what you thought about the negatives.
Following that theme of we can't get out of our own way it's just our offensive line. It's atrocious. The interior is abysmal. Yep. And the worst part about it is we're having timely mistakes out there. You know, Brian Robinson gets this first carry as a professional football player, runs 8 yards, and it gets brought back because we're holding.
Yep.
You know, maybe that's why he got the 8 yards, but like the times that we make the mistakes just kill ourselves. You know, we had false starts again. We had holds and it was kind of smeared all across the line. Andrew Norwell had his worst game as a commander. He looked awful out there, and we don't have anything to replace him right now. You know, Sadiq Charles is in for Trey Turner. Wes Schweitzer's supposed to be the starting right guard, but he's hurt. You know, and he's on the PUP list so he's out for another. He won't be there tomorrow, and so then 2 games after that. You know, so we don't have replacements, and then we had 3 bad snaps to Carson. That just takes, they ended the play. He had to, he fell on 1 or 2. He picked one up and got the best he could. But, you're not even giving your chance to play. So it's just really tough that how bad they are. And then when they are blocking, they're not doing a very good job at it. They did a much better job in pass protection, but their run blocking was atrocious today.
Yeah. Yep.
Or on Sunday. 12 carries for 28 yards is the best we can get. That's awful.
Yeah.
You know, and so it's like, I hate this slogan, but it is what it is with them. There's not really much we can do. I think Tyler Larson is probably starting tomorrow. That might help, but we're just bad. And what's going to happen is they're going to have to find a way to play around it. It's because we're not going to be able to play with them. We got to kind of hide those as much as we can.
Yeah. No, absolutely. And then look, sticking with the offense, you're not going to win games when you get your first 3rd down conversion on the last drive of the game.
Yes. We
were 0 of 8 up until that last drive, and we ended the game 1 of 11.
Yeah.
What are you winning with that? And the fact that we were in that game with how bad things were. Now, mind you, what this doesn't factor in is chunk plays, and we had a couple of those. So the stat might be a little off on that, but still, we were 0 of 8 coming into that last drive. And it was, look, we got a 4th down conversion because we needed it. The game was on the line, but it was stressful. We could not get the job done. I believe the first down we went to, on that 3rd down, he had Diami crossing it over the middle. The ball gets tipped at the line of scrimmage, back to our own line. So now we have to go for it on 4th and 4, and their defense shut it down. They had great coverage on it. So along the lines of us not being able to get out of our own way, we're talking about winning football, complementary football. If 8 straight times we have 3rd down and we have to come off the field and send our defense back on here, I don't care how well your defense is playing, they're going to suffer. You know what I mean? And especially when they have to face a battering ram like Derrick Henry. And we saw what happened with him. As the game started to progress, he started to get hungrier and hungrier and stronger. And just, those tackles that were maybe hitting them and bringing them down in the first quarter and the second quarter was not happening in the 3rd. And as you saw in that second half and late in the game, he was just able to continue to meticulously run the ball down the field on us, and it killed us. It killed us, and we're giving our offenses allowing them to come on the field because we are not sustaining drives. And look, 17 points, as you see, that's not going to get the job done. And a lot of that has to do with 1 and 11 on 3rd downs. You got to fix that. So, yes, we had good plays. Yes, he had over 300 yards. Yes, we had a chance to win it at the end, but we're not helping ourselves with this type of stuff right here. So, we got to fix that. We definitely have to improve that, Will.
Yeah, well, kind of going with that whole theme of third downs, I'm going to bring up Carson Wentz on some of the negatives. He had an overall much, much more improved game, but he wasn't perfect, and it just seems like at times when he makes the mistake, it's just like the offensive line. Like when he makes his mistakes, there are moments when we need him to rise up.
Yep.
It's like we need him to see Terry McLaurin going deep and not choosing to throw that difficult route to Cam Sims, that difficult catch to him. You and I texted, we both saw, you saw it from the stadium. I saw it on TV. Cole Turner split out wide in a single coverage situation, and we didn't even look his way. It's like, this is what we're looking for. A couple times he sailed a couple of his passes on third down that just didn't, weren't even catchable. But kind of going with that too, we also need to help him out. That very first drive, do you remember that rainbow throw that he made on third down? Mm-hmm. He had a rainbow ball, but he dropped it right into Curtis Samuel's hands, and he dropped it. Yeah. And we had to punt it. So it's like all of the little offensive issues can be fixed by everyone. Like everyone needs to just fix it a little bit more, and then we'd be doing well. I want to throw it back to you before I start talking about my number one player on defense that I can't stand. So I'm gonna let you go first.
Look, I'm gonna stay right on the line of us killing ourselves. We talked about it a week ago. We had 11 penalties for over 100 yards. This week we had 9 for just over 70 yards. Killing ourselves. Yeah. I mean, again, this is stuff that it's like we're beating a dead horse, saying it over and over and over. But discipline has been something that we've talked about. We've talked to, Nate, Alex, Anton, a lot of those guys, we talk about coaching. Yes, the coaching is the ones who's responsible for that discipline. Now, what I will say is being a player, there's nothing like being on that field because nobody's with you. It is you by yourself. So sometimes you do get in your head, but at the same time, it's just as soon as we're getting good yards, like you talked about the Brian Robinson run, we're then coming right back. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Some of those drives we're dealing with 3rd and 20s. You don't have play calls that can get you these chunk plays. This is not doing it. And so with this losing this yards, you're not able to get the running game going. Okay. We know what's wrong with our own line. So now it's going to get to a point where if we don't dedicate that time to the run, the guys are just going to sit back and wait for us to go deep like they're doing late in the game. Keep everything in front of them, like Dallas did late in the game. Keep everything in front of them. Yeah. You know what I mean? We need to establish that run, but if every time we get, like you said, an 8-yard run, a 9-yard run, a 10-yard run, it comes back, then we're behind the chains. And then it's just like, well, of course, now we know why we're not able to run the ball, man. So, but let's get off on offense. I know you got some things to say on defense. I do want to say one thing real quick. Yeah. It is a crime that for the second week in a row, Terry McLaurin gets his first catch in the second quarter. All this damn money we're paying him, I don't care if you have to hand him the ball. Get him the damn ball early. Like, it just needs to happen. Like, come on now. But go ahead, Will. What you got?
Yep. So 2 things I'm going to talk about on defense that's frustrating the negatives. First off, we talked about how well they were bend but don't break. We had a lot of pressure. We are not generating any turnovers on defense. We have 1 interception this season, and it was on Trevor Lawrence trying to make a play at the end of the game that he's losing. It wasn't our coverage confused him and he threw a pick. So to me, like, we don't have any interceptions on the season. We don't have meaningful turnovers right now. And so as well as our defensive line was playing, the backside is not doing anything. They're not scaring anybody. And going with that, we all throughout the course of the season find players, coaches, situations, whatever, that just become our thing. All right. And it's like, every fan gets this way, and like you can't come off it. This is just going to drive you nuts no matter what. My guy that I pick on a lot is Bobby McCain. Yeah. All right. I don't think he's a starting safety for us, for anybody. I think he's good to come in as a rotational piece, play in certain passing situations. But the fact that he's our starting safety, it very much frustrates me because he's not a ball hawking safety, and that's what we need back there.
Yeah.
And what I can remember is they had one really, really big chunk play to a wide receiver who I don't know who he is, Nick Westbrook. All right. And it did seem like there could have been some breakdown in communication with the corner because the corner stopped and let him keep running. But McCain was there. Even the receiver kind of looked a little lost. He was there in coverage, and he didn't make the play at all. He wasn't even near, like when the ball finally came down, he wasn't even nearby to knock it down, to make a play on it at all. It's just, we just need better play from our safeties, and he ain't bringing it. I know he's a better communicator and he's kind of steadied things up, but anytime he gives up a big play, I kind of overreact because he gets me fired up. And that happened again on Sunday. And I'm like, are you kidding me? That's what our defense looks like. So he really frustrated me on Sunday with that huge chunk play that he gave up.
Yeah. And it goes along with what you were saying about just the wrong time. The wrong timing for these things to happen. That was right after a touchdown. We had taken the lead, and then that comes around and that turns around. That's what happens. That it was rough. It was absolutely rough thinking, going into that. And if you actually go back and look at that play, if we had a split second more, Sweat was right on him.
Yes.
Sweat was right behind him.
His arm was back there. Yes.
It was so very, very close. We could have gotten that. That definitely stressed me out. I mean, I've already said negatives earlier. I've already talked about running game. We did not run the ball enough, and that affects me. That messes with me because I'm an old running back, obviously, but that changes the offense and how things are played out. We have issues. We have things that we need to correct all around the board. And I don't know. I don't really want to harp on the negatives this week, Will. I mean, there's a couple things that we've definitely brought out, but I'm more optimistic than anything else because I feel like there's a lot of things to build on. And look, you talk about the McCain play. That changes. We could be talking about a totally different outcome. Mm-hmm. And we talk about what we'll talk about a little bit later, the end of the game. Hey, that changes and we get to score. We're not even having this whole negatives discussion because there was so many positives that we can lean on. But as we see, as the joke we made earlier in the game, 1-4, being the best 1-4 team, is it? Not great, man.
I think we're also optimistic because we got the Bears tomorrow. Yeah, I see you, Nick.
Let's go. He ain't ready. Yo, we do have some guests coming on. Do you have any more negatives? Because we got to go to our game balls.
Yeah, I'm ready for game balls. I got things that are going to throw you off.
Okay, here we go. Yo, let's get into our game balls. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to start this week. Yeah. Oh, man, I've been waiting. All last year I waited. All up till this game this year I waited. And it finally happened. De'Ami Brown, 2 catches, over 100 yards, 2 touchdowns. Oh, I was so excited to see that. More excited for him. I know he's been struggling. When you have guys that were in your corner, like myself, you know how much I've been tore heels since last year, since he came. And to see that happen, where he finally gets it at home in front of our crowds, the place went wild. Everybody was on their feet, yelling. De'Ami felt confident. You see Carson run down the field, pat him. All the guys got to him. And seeing everything that we had dealt with up to that point, and then seeing him make that happen, oh, man. That made me feel so good for him. I'm not gonna overblow it. It was only 2 receptions, but he took advantage of the opportunity, and it was when we needed it, and it was huge. Definitely so very huge. So I love that. So what do you have for your first game ball?
Yeah, my offensive game ball is going to go to Brian Robinson.
Oh, yeah. He
did not have the impact in the game that we anticipated, but the fact that he was even on the field after what he had to go through is remarkable. And you can just see the whole team kind of, they really care about him. And they're really excited, to have him on the team. And I think he's only going to start to get featured more. He gets the game ball because you have to. But the other one that I was thinking of is Cornelius Lucas. because we talked about the fact that he hadn't been penalized much in the times he's come in and spot started. And I don't know if he was penalized on Sunday. I don't feel like I heard his name called. It's like, oh my gosh, could we have some stability on that right side, to help us out, to help Carson, because he needs a little bit of time. So that was what I got. But I'll swing it back to you so you can go over your defensive game balls.
Oh, you know what it is. And on defense, let's stay at the same university. My North Carolina Tar Heels. Cole Holcomb with 16 total tackles. 11 of them were solo tackles. We talk about him, he's good. He's a hustle guy. He's a moral support guy. Well, he showed up. He showed out, and including on their last drive, I believe, they had a play. They ended up running Tannehill out to the right. The whole line kind of shifted over, and he was going to try to run for the first down. But my guy, Mr. Cole Holcomb, was able to make the stop and kind of even stood over him. I saw one time where he was kind of, jawing back and forth with Derrick Henry. Okay. I like that. Look, we know he can do this type of thing. We know he's always all around the ball. But when you see these type of numbers, man, 11 tackles, 11 solo tackles, 16 more, like all where he's around it like that. Yes, we need that stuff. We talk about that bend but don't break defense. We talk about all the issues and the struggles on our defense. I love consistency. We know he's going to be here. We know he's going to get it. We also know he might consistently get burned by a running back or a slot receiver or something like that. But he is going to give you the best he's got week in, week out. And he went to a school that's not too shabby. Tar Heel Nation, baby. Let's get it.
It ain't too
Let's
good
go.
Either.
Yo, if Sam Howell came in, that would have been great. It would be a 3 Tar Heel day. Yes.
All right, so my game ball is a really easy one. And it's Montez Sweat. Yeah. But it's because he had the impact that we need him to have, that he should be having. He's a huge talent. We've been wondering, where is this coming from all season? We wondered, where was it last year? Not only did he have 2 sacks in the game, he had a bunch of pressures. Like you said, he was so close to getting that strip sack on Tannehill on that long pass play. So there were a bunch of times where even though he wasn't able to get there to make the sack, he pressured the play, he forced an early pass, and that was huge for us. I also have an honorable mention, and there's a reason behind this. So Rashad Wildgoose came in and played slot corner. All right. What's important about that is they tested him not very much. He had 2 throws that went his way, and neither one were caught. The difference, though, is by him coming in and playing slot corner, Benjamin St. Juice went to the outside, and William Jackson III was benched.
Yep.
All right. And if Wild Goose can hold his own out there, that's going to be huge for us moving forward. Jackson came out here and said something about, oh, I have a back injury. Yeah, Braun kind of dispelled that. He just said, no, we made a decision. So if we can have that moving forward, we may be getting rid of that player who consistently is drawing penalties on himself or having communication issues, and that may help us out moving forward. It can only help us out moving forward if we get William Jackson off the field.
Well, I'm glad you were able to find some joy in Wild Goose. I believe he was one of our starting negatives last week.
Against the Eagles. And
yeah.
I believe that there's some sarcasm on the comment thread here from Mr. Faubert, but I'm going to assume that it's positive.
About the underrated? Or what about this one? I'm locking the over 38 points for this game.
Oof.
I mean, I know our defenses are good, but our offenses don't stand up each other's their way either. So, yeah, those are our game balls for this week, ladies and gentlemen. I see Nate is back in there. So we're going to take a quick breather, ladies and gentlemen, and then we're going to bring on our guy, Mr. Nathan Snell, host of Big Nate Sports Talk Podcast. But, we will be right back with you.
Dun, 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 dun.
Let's go. The Washington Commanders. There it is. Really? One Nathan Snell is in the building and just in time because we are going to go over that goal line sequence at the end of the game. Nathan, how you doing today? How you feeling? What's going on, man?
What's going on, y'all? How y'all feeling?
Hey, man, thanks for joining us.
Oh yeah.
Thank you. Thank you for having me on the show. I appreciate it.
Yeah, man.
So
Well,
Will,
I'm doing fine. You know, I'm feeling better now. I almost broke my phone watching the game, so
Yeah.
I'm good now.
Good deal. Sean's just fixing one of his mics.
Oh,
Yeah,
no
man, it's important to have some of these shows a little bit later because the overreaction that happens on a Sunday and Monday is kind of tough. And so I too, like you, we've been talking Sunday night or Monday night. I may be having a whole different tune than I do right now.
Absolutely, definitely. There's more emotion immediately after the game than after a couple of days. So
Yeah.
once I looked back at the film and looked and I feel better. So.
All right. Well, I don't want to take Sean's trying to get his mic fixed, so I don't want to jump too far ahead. But just talk to me overall a little bit about the goal line sequence there. Don't get into too many specifics. I know we're going to try and break it down as soon as Sean gets back on. But what did you see? What were what were your thoughts here? Like, how excited were you out there? Were you thinking, hey, this is it? Did you like the fact that they threw the ball 3 times? Tell me a little bit about that.
Well, first, I like the fact that we got to the goal line that drive. We had made it clear that we weren't going to give Tennessee the ball back. So I like that. I wish we would have saved a timeout on those three passing plays. To give context, we challenged the Cam Sims catch. And obviously that didn't change, so that took a time out away. I thought all 3 passing plays were not smart plays. I think you could have got better looks than what Carson was doing. I mean, Tennessee, it looked like a man coverage zone, a zone defense. There was even the second pass play where he threw it in the middle of the field, and you had a defensive lineman literally back up and to almost being a middle linebacker. Like that, they just weren't smart plays. I really wish they would have audibled or changed up the play calling.
Yeah, no, I'm with you on that timeout. I definitely thought that, Rhonda's not very good at his timeouts, and that was such an iffy play, especially the fact that they called it incomplete on the field. I wish someone would have said, hey, man, that's a really close play, and just roll with the next play. It was 4th and 1 is what it became,
yeah.
so it's as a result of it, so did we really, lose much? But Sean, looks like your mic's back, so go ahead.
Yeah. So what I will say on that is we cannot blame Ron for that call. I'm going to tell you.
No, you can't.
Ron had, I don't know the exact total in the stadium, but half of it, because half of them were Titans fans, half of the stadium was screaming at him, throw the damn flag, throw the flag. And I will admit I was one of those people. But even from the angle that I had, it looked like a completion. Our players were hyped about it. He hopped up. He had the ball. So and personally, from where I was at, I was saying throw it. But I now look at hindsight's 2020 because I was hyping that because of the fact that we had a situation a week ago where he didn't throw it until too late. They were able to move the play on, and it affected us. So I was sitting here like, do it. But even still, if you look at that play, we had other options open.
Yes.
Will, you talked. We had Curtis Samuel right at the first down marker with a guy 2 or 3 yards away from him. We at least could have caught it. If we look at that, like there was a combo route while Sims was going kind of on a little skinny post to the left. You had McLaurin coming on a deep post to the right, and he was open. Now, he had a lot of pressure on him, so he wasn't able to make that throw. And the throw that he made, it was a 50-50. Could have gone either way. But at the same time, I don't know. This is our job to play Monday morning quarterback on that call.
Right.
But I will tell you, I was one of the people yelling at him, Ron, throw the flag, throw it. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
that's what that was.
So while you were getting all your mic fixed, I don't know if you could hear it, but Nate was basically just kind of saying like he just didn't like the play calls in that goal line sequence. Didn't have a problem with the throws. He just felt they needed to be more creative. So were you going to show a video or how did you want to break that down?
So I'm going to play. I had from my seat, which is the opposite.
Can Nate see this? Nate, can you see us, or are you audio only right now?
Right now, I'm only audio only.
Okay.
So that ain't gonna work.
Yeah. So you're not gonna be able to see that play. I mean, I sent Nate a screen capture by screen capture each second of the play because we were going back and forth on this. I will show it.
Yes, I think we were. Yeah.
I will show it because I did prep him on what it was,
okay.
And we can definitely talk about it. This is the very last play of the game. Like I said, I'm from the opposing end zone in the corner doing it, but I did zoom in, and you can see kind of from a catter-cornered angle of what Carson saw. So it's a quick play. I'll let y'all see it, and then we'll break it down real quick. So if you look at it, I'm going to run it one more time.
That's good. Good filming, Sean.
Hey, I was zoomed in. I was like, I'm going to get this one. But that's what happens when you try to film and try to be like, yeah, I'm going to show all of them. I was ready to show Janae and everything. It didn't work. Egg in my face. But I'm going to show it again really quickly because if you look at it, we see what – and I know one of the things Nate and I was talking about, he stares to the left. He doesn't read the field. They only had a 3-man rush, so he stares over to the left. Terry McLaurin kind of gets jammed at the line, and then Long, the guy who intercepts it, comes off of that play and makes a great play on the ball. I'm going to show you guys again, and then we're going to dive into that real quick. So, Will, tell me your initial thoughts. I know things are a little different from Sunday to today.
Honestly, I kind of felt this even in the moment as it was happening. I give a lot of credit to the Tennessee defense on those plays there. I'm not going to argue with anyone that said they wanted to see something a little bit more creative. I was surprised we didn't have any type of one-on-one situations put out there, isolation. Remember a couple of years ago under Jay Gruden when we'd be in this situation and Jordan Reed would be the only guy off to the side and the entire stadium knew what we were doing, and yet the slants would still sometimes work because he was just unguardable at times. I was surprised we didn't try anything like that, and everybody was kind of bunched up the entire time, which can also cause distraction, but I thought Tennessee made some really good plays on defense. We were able to look at one reporter break down that first play, and he talked about how the offense had multiple looks, multiple things happening, and Tennessee just kind of held their own. They communicated and held their own, and on that throw, Carson Wentz was just kind of trying to throw this lob pass to Cam Sims, and Cam Sims stopped his route.
Yeah.
He didn't keep running where Carson thought he was going to, which is why that ball barely landed out of bounds. Which is kind of scary. The second play, Nate, you said it. They put a defensive tackle. They dropped back Simmons and that other big dude. They dropped him back in coverage. When Carson threw the ball, to McKissick, he appeared to be open. Yeah. And then they dropped back their defensive lineman and they were able to block that. And and like you said there on that play, McLaurin was there to clear out the linebacker to open it up for McKissick, and David Long punched him as he came through, stood his ground, and then made this diving play. So I saw a lot of really good plays on defense. Is what I saw. Maybe that's me being a Washington homer and all that kind of stuff. But I felt like Tennessee's defense needs to get some credit. That all we're doing right now is blaming our own team.
Well, right. I mean, and look, we can find we know us. We can find things wrong with the play. I mean, essentially they dropped 8 people back. So if you look at it, there was no real pressure. He had time. He could have easily moved up in the pocket and, maybe scrambled out, maybe done something to kind of influence the defense a little bit, but he did not. And to your point, Will, from that footage and from my angle that I saw, the play was there. That corner was fearing somebody going into the flat. So running that angle route on the inside was essentially open, but like you said, they jammed Terry and they didn't follow Terry.
Mm-hmm.
What they were expecting is that he kind of meshed after they jammed. He kind of went with Terry, but he sent him off because he knew he had that other guy in the middle, and then he went over there to make the play. And like you said, Will, I think, in my opinion, it was a great play by the defense. We put ourselves in position to win. At first glance, and Will got on me about this, but I still feel this because I told you about this, Nathan. I do feel like when we first got there in that first down, when we first got the penalty and we got there, I thought you go in there with 2 plays. I thought you do. I think they robbed us, and I get it. I get we had under 40 yards rushing. You know what I mean? So I get that, but if you run, I felt like you robbed not only the fans but Brian Robinson that opportunity to, hey, let's do it. This is why we're here. The guy to get in between the tackles, spread them out, and run up the gut. And then if that doesn't go down, at that point it would have been 19 seconds at the beginning of that drive. So we would have had another play to either quickly spike it and then sit back and think, or come back to the line. That's where you call 2 plays and then run the second play. But again, this is armchair quarterback. Hindsight's 2020. I could say all these things. We have the benefit of looking back at it and examining it from so many different angles in slow motion. And let's be honest, we're not stressed about that. I mean, we were into it like, oh my God, is it going to happen? But this is an NFL quarterback who has driven down the field, who is making sure the other team doesn't get on the field. He hears the critics, he hears everything. And what can you say about it? The defense played ball. They did what they needed to do. We had 2 yards to go, and we had 11, essentially, had 8 people jamming up the end zone. There wasn't many routes that were going to work. You know what I mean? But Nate, what do you think, man?
Well, I agree with what you're saying. I think one of those 3 plays that we had, one of them should have been a running formation. I'm very surprised that Ron or Scott did not see what Tennessee was doing defensively. They were practically daring us to throw the ball. And I would have made the adjustment, okay, we're going to call audible. I would have had Antonio Gibson out there and just Brian Robinson. I wouldn't have put McKissick out there. That's just my opinion. I think, John, if Carson look, the last play, there's 9 seconds. I know, Sean, you not had the back and forth on it, but 9 seconds is just enough time to scan the field, to scan it, to see, okay, who's open. Because if you look, you had Terry and JD, you had four defenders. The play design was poor. Like, JD's route, he was at the 3. Like, he didn't even touch the end zone. If he looked to his right, John Bates, okay, like 50-50, it may have been a touchdown or not, but it would have been he would have had a better chance to throw to John Bates and J.D. McKissick. That's just me.
Yeah, I think you bring up some good points. I mean, no, you're right. I mean, I have heard there is some folks that are saying that, had McKissick even caught the ball, would he have even been in the end zone and time would have expired? I think what they might have been looking, McKissick versus Bates, is you're looking at who's got the better hands, while he's out there. So I think I do understand when people are talking about, hey, you got 19 seconds, you have enough time to run the ball. So I guess essentially what you have to be asking yourself, what do you think you have a better chance with? Right. Sean, you said it perfectly. If you run the ball, you'd have to do it on first down, knowing that if we run the ball, we're either going to get in or we're going to limit how many chances we have at the goal line, because you're only going to get another play, one more play in. You might get a third play, whereas obviously passing, you have the opportunity to potentially get 4 plays out there. Like what if Long hadn't caught that ball we would have had one more chance at it to try again. So I think that's kind of the philosophy why I was saying you don't run the ball here, because you want as many shots on goal as possible. And then it just so happens that they made an incredible pick, and we're done.
Painfully.
Yeah, it was. That hurt, man.
Yeah, it was rough. But honestly, I don't think, and I've seen some people in the comments. I think it's Anton. Do you think the guys feel Scott did a better job play calling up top or on the field? And when it pertains to this play, I don't think that was. I personally don't think that was on him. When I look at that last play, I think the play was as designed. It was supposed to be a pick play to make sure that linebacker didn't get in. And then the angle route was going to come in right behind it, and that was open. I mean, like I said, we could pick this thing apart all the way to the end, but the biggest issues, I think, came after the game happened. And Nate, we're going to come to you on this because I know you got some serious thoughts about this one. Ron Rivera was asked a question essentially saying, you look at the Eagles, you look at the Giants, you look at the Cowboys, they're all having pretty good seasons thus far. What's the difference between them and y'all? And Rivera just bluntly said quarterback, and that was that. Moved on. So everybody's had their chance to dissect what he said. We kind of feel like, he later he apologized to the team. Some of the players were kind of like, we're still behind Carson. We're not, he's good with us, whatever, what have you. But what were your thoughts hearing that? And where do we go forward from there?
Well, I can't really say what I really want to say on your show, so I'm gonna keep it civil.
Keep it PG.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep it PG. Thank you. I thought the comments were out of bounds. I think he completely threw Carson under the bus. Let's be real. Like, this team has had issues. Carson coming here with the issues that already were happening. I think it's unfair to completely throw him under the bus like that. At the end of the day, it's a team game. There have been a lot of disappointments. You're dealing with an injury-plagued offensive line. Your defense 1 week looks okay, the next minute it looks suspect. I would have thought by year 3 now, I would have seen the team take a leap forward. I haven't seen that. I think he should have elaborated more on that.
Yes.
I feel like the reporter who asked that question set him up for it, because we all know it was going to get it. We all knew the response was going to get a reaction. I just think he should have been more careful with his words. I don't think apologizing to your quarterback fixes anything, because I think, for me, I'm one of those. Once you come as a coach and you come out and say those kind of things about your player, it's hard for me to trust you as a coach, because now I have to kind of look at you a little different. Like, oh, so you're not confident in me really going forward? Like, okay, so that's my whole 2 cents on it. I
Sure.
think Ron should have been more smarter with his response, but
sure. Yeah. What do you think, Sean?
I look, it's not the first time we've had a coach say some, outlandish stuff. And honestly, from what the players are saying, it's like, listen, he said what he said. He came back and apologized. So, we're good with that. We're okay with, and we're moving forward. They're trying to move past it. So we don't know what's going on in-house, and we'll see, obviously, tomorrow night. But honestly, I do think it was taken out of context. If you really break it down and look at the other quarterbacks in the division, well, they're all having success right now. And we're not 100% having. We're getting it done for the, in yardage wise, but we're still struggling. So to me personally, yeah, you shouldn't have said quarterback. You shouldn't have just been blunt and said it like that. You should have elaborated and gone into that. But hey, obviously it's 1-4. Ron's probably getting frustrated because he's getting a lot of the same questions, week in and week out. We should have won that game. So I know how I was feeling right after that game. I was salty. So I can only imagine how he was feeling. But, it's not right. You're right. that's not what you want to hear. And especially with our quarterback who has had confidence issues, you don't want to hear your coach go to the media and say, it's the quarterback, it's that guy.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So,
that is, you know, maybe it wasn't right and the timing wasn't right, but you know, I'd like to believe that he kind of rectified that whole situation.
See, now what I think is everyone's making a bigger deal out of this than we need to be.
Oh yeah.
I think, Nate, you said it perfectly when you said, like, the reporter, when he asked that and heard that, they kind of went, what? And then they tried to follow up, and then later on they went back to it so Ron could elaborate a little bit more about you know, what he was saying. You know, saying we finally got our guy. Now we can build around him. These other teams have had their guy in place. I think it was a stupid comment by Ron. I think he's frustrated with the situation, and I also think he's frustrated with the Washington media. This ain't Charlotte. Like, they actually press him, and you're starting to see that he's kind of getting irritated in these press conferences. And I think he just really wasn't thinking how his short response to that, where it was going to play out and how much it was going to go. I mean, I'm with everyone where it was a dumb comment. I think the team's going to be able to sweep this under the rug and move on. And I think it's kind of interesting. There's so much being brought up about Carson's his, like, fragile ego, you know, and this whole team is doing that. And, like, you know, Jason Wright came out early on and, like, blasted a reporter for asking Carson, you know, questions about his past and all that stuff. And it's like, Carson can handle himself. He's not having a problem with this right now. He's answering questions at the podium. He's taking responsibility that he needs to play better. You know, it's like, we need to, like, stop coddling this guy. Not that we need to be blaming him or calling him out, but, like, people are just our organization just seems so concerned about protecting his ego. And dude's a professional quarterback. He's a professional football player. Carson even said it. He goes, man, I've been through Philly. Like, come on.
Right.
Like, Ron's experiencing that this is not Charlotte, but Carson's been to Philly before. Like, let's give him, you know, let's cut him a break. He can handle some of this. So I think we'll be fine moving forward is what I'm trying to summarize.
Yeah, and what I'm trying to say is all this Heineke talk needs to go somewhere else. I see you, Jared. Nobody listens to that. Heineke, we saw what Heineke provided for us last year. Okay? He's not the answer, or at least he's not better than what we have right now. Look, we there's a lot of positives in our guy Carson. And Ron, hey, he's under the a lot of people, let's not forget, a lot of people are speaking quite loud about year 3 accountability, and Nathan, you know, does he need to go? Things aren't changing. So he's got pressure on him. He's got people coming after him talking about, you're the problem, you're the issue. So, you know, sometimes he's just like, man, get it off of me. Like my pops always says, just get it off of me. And the easiest target sometimes is your quarterback. Don't condone the comments, but again, let's hope this is something that's just a little puff thing, and we're gonna move on. Nathan, I'm gonna go ahead and let you go. We got some other guests in here, and they are pretty excited. Nathan, we appreciate you being on.
Yeah, man. Thanks for coming on, sharing your thoughts.
Oh, absolutely.
Really quick, the Washington Commanders are beating the Chicago Bears tomorrow, guaranteed.
Yes, sir.
And they're blowing them out 41-0.
Wow. You just jinxed us. Come on. Oh, man. All right, man. Appreciate you. Yeah, buddy. Oh, man. All right.
I'm loving some of these questions coming in from Jared on YouTube. Sean and I gotta get a segment to go with some of that stuff. We've been talking about your questions, and we do, like, behind the scenes. We've been saying we got to talk about the future, and we will get to it. I just don't think we're gonna get to them tonight with the agenda that we have. But they're great questions, and we're all in on that too.
Jared will definitely get you on here because we definitely want to ask that because that's a lot of what we are talking about. Look, we are going to go ahead and move on the other side of this quick break. We are going to bring in the Chicago Bears fans to talk about tomorrow night's game. And there's only one way to bring in these guys, and that's to show that these guys are just hilarious. Roundtable Tuesday nights. Check this out.
So I'm going to take the Lions +3 in this one over the Patriots. If anybody can tame a bird, it's definitely an egg. Now, see, this is what I'm talking about, ladies and gentlemen. This gentleman is on the show And yet during my segment, what is he doing? Playing around on his computer, making notes, telling jokes, trying to be a funny guy. Do I do that during your segment, sir? Do I sit there and make comments? Do I laugh at you? No, I do not, sir. What is this? I thought we had a better relationship than this. You know what? Don't make me go Shannon Sharp on you. Because I'm telling you, let me tell you something there, Skip. I don't think this is right. Because you be making comments during my segment. I don't think this is funny. I don't think it's funny at all. And let me tell you something else. When I was playing for the Broncos, I caught every pass that threw to me. Let me tell you something, Skip Bayless. That's what I'm saying to you. Take that. So anyway, there you go.
Jokes aside, that is a dope Shannon Sharp impersonation.
Yeah, buddy. Welcome in Chicago's own Nicholas Rosario and Delilah Crespo. What's up, guys?
Oh, it's really hard to bite my tongue since you guys, right. Thank you, Jared, because I'm going to get them all. Y'all want to talk crap, but I'm backstage and can't answer, right? Say it to my face, Nate, but you're 41-0. Go take care of your Ravens before you come after me and my Bears, bro. Right. You probably lose this week anyways. Lamar will probably run for more than he throws. Who cares? Anyways,
hey,
let's go.
Yo, ladies and gentlemen, Nicholas and Delilah join the show.
Right, you got to introduce my lovely co-host over there. Don't be trying to get past this, John. That's right. Yeah.
We're gonna bust out the mute button. I'm muted. I muted him. You can go ahead and.
Yo, Delilah, the host of Diversity with Delilah in this day in NFL history. What's going on?
Hey, what's up, everybody?
Well, wonderful. Thank you all for coming on here. Nate, you are Nick. Sorry, you are unmuted. So that you'll be able to.
I noticed. It's okay. I'm gonna wait for you guys to ask me whatever you want to ask me, and then I will speak. No problem. This is your show, not mine. Right?
Okay,
I'll be a good guest. I'll be a good guest.
Right now. I'm gonna come to you right now.
Go ahead.
Okay. We've been in the group chats. We've seen what all the analysts have said. They expected y'all to be at the complete basement, but you guys have been playing very well, in my opinion, a lot better than expected. Coming into this game, is this a must-win? But also, what are your thoughts?
Well, let's be honest about one thing. As you said, to get serious for a moment, by this point in the season, most people had us at 1-4 at best. So the fact that we're actually 2-3 is not horrible at all. And for those of you who watched last week's game, you saw that we were in it. Unfortunately, the defense started slow and gave up those 20 points in the first half. And, by the second half, we gave up one drive, unfortunately, that cost us the game, essentially. Mm-hmm. But here's what I'm encouraged by really quickly. I like the way Justin Fields played last week. And I like that he had some time to make a few decisions, and he made some right ones. Again, he is still learning, and he's going to make his mistakes, and I'm okay with that as long as he doesn't make the same mistake. You have to be able to improve every week.
Yep.
And last week, I like what I saw. He was leading a comeback drive. For those of you who don't know what happened, the guy didn't get out of bounds. It's the same guy who got the illegal block in the back when Justin ran that 54-yard touchdown run. That was called back. So Smith-Marset had a very bad week last week. So I don't know what's going to happen with him this week. But he was definitely one of the scapegoats for last week's game. But again, I'm encouraged by what I saw last week. The defense is giving up 21.2 points a game, which is not great, but it's not horrible either. The defenses look better. And I'm telling you, Jaquan Brisker and Kyler Gordon, just remember those names, my friend, because those guys are playing their butts off in that secondary at corner and at safety. So this is why I'm looking forward to this matchup with Scary Terry and your other receivers, because this is where I think this game gets decided, is in that secondary. I think if we can keep tabs on McLaurin and keep tabs on, Samuel? Who else is playing for you guys this week?
Tell them.
Who's playing this week?
There.
Right.
De'Ami Brown.
I'm just saying, I will look for those matches. Right. I will look for those matchups, though, because that's really what I'm looking for here. Because I know at times we can stop the run, and we have been effective doing that. And at other times we've been a hole. So I'm really thinking the secondary is what's going to come down to this game in terms of that. Can we hold your receiver?
Don't spill all your keys to victory information on your very first time talking here.
Well, I'm just saying, I wanted to give you that. Now, I will shut up and I'll let Delilah talk.
Awesome.
I'm a gentleman.
I appreciate it. So Delilah, expand a little bit. We want to know about Justin Fields. From Sean and I's perspective, we're not exactly sure how he's panning out as a starting quarterback. And we remember draft night, the excitement that you guys had when all of a sudden Chicago is on the clock and you're like, it's a quarterback. We're getting somebody, and he had a rough go last year. He's got a new coach. So what are you all seeing from them? Is there encouragement in Chicago, or is there a lot of skepticism because, oh my gosh, here's another Ohio State quarterback failing?
Yeah. No, I think one of my problems for the last few weeks was how safe they created plays for him, because for me, and I know that it's offensive coordinator calling these plays, and so it kept showing us, the fans, that they don't trust him. And in my opinion, I'm like, he has to pass more, because either he's gonna make it or he's not, right? In my opinion, you gotta get that kid to pass, give him the time. And if he's not going to be accurate, then that's something we need to know now and not later, right? So I'm done with the baby. That's honestly what's driving me crazy. Is why are we doing these dumb plays? It was ridiculous. It was 2 weeks ago, it was 9 pass attempts. That's sad. And then before that was 11.
Yeah.
It was come on, we're not going to win games like that. Sorry, I have animals. And so we're not going to win games like that. And so last week, though, he did have time to shine. And we saw that if you give him the time to actually pass the ball, right, if his O-line doesn't collapse, and actually start coaching him, and actually, because the thing is that Luke Getzky came from Green Bay. He was a quarterback coach, offensive mind, was praised all last year as being this offensive-minded guy, and what a steal he was for the Bears, right? And then I was like, what are you doing with Justin? Because I'm not seeing anything good.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I said as a fan is just get him the ball and have him pass. We know he could run, right? We know that he does it all the time. We know the kid has speed. We know he's athletic, but can he pass? Because we're not going to win games like that, right? By just, doing these baby plays and stuff. So I was excited to see him improve. I agree with Nick in that regard. If he's making the same mistakes, then that's a problem. Yeah. But if he's adjusting and doing better, then we need to see more of that. So I'm hoping that he does pass more in this game. I hope that he passes more than 11 times. And so it's
for sure.
I'm hoping that he actually has a chance to build on what he did last week, and that they don't put him back in a little bubble. It's let the kid play.
Well, that's kind of a little bit of what I've seen too when looking at the stats after games. I've noticed, man, he really does not have a lot of pass attempts. They really don't, and that's why I've just wondered, what is the trust factor in there? Are they willing to give him a chance out there, or essentially are they trying to say, we know what you can do well, right, and we're keeping you to that?
Yeah. So I'm eager to see. And look, Nick, you started talking about. Let's go into it, ladies and gentlemen. If you don't know, this is a segment I like to call Keys to Victory. Yeah, buddy. And look, on this, we're gonna give a key for our team and a key for the other team. Nick, I'm gonna come to you first. What are your keys for Chicago to get a W tomorrow? And then what are some of the things you think that Washington could exploit off you guys so we can get a W?
I have 2 names for you outside of Kyler Gordon and Jaquan Brisker: David Montgomery, Khalil Herbert. We have to establish the run to open up the pass.
Yep.
We absolutely have to do that. That's key, because you've seen when Montgomery and Herbert have been running successfully, we have scored a few points.
Yep.
Because it does open up a little bit of the passing game. Now, here's the thing, though, real quick. Justin Fields has to manage the game. I think the defense is good enough where we can stop you. I mean, again, you guys have some offensive weapons. I'm not, jokes aside, I know you guys can score some points, and that's fine. But my point is that for our defense, we have to show up and make sure that we pressure Carson Wentz, because that's when he folds like a card table. And that's an important thing to remember also. So that's all I'm saying. As long as Roquan and these guys can get to him, you're going to see interceptions. You're going to see him collapse. You're going to see him run around like a chicken with his head cut off. And that's what I want to see. That's absolutely what I want. because I think that's one of the things that will bring us in your background there, the W, but not for you guys, for us.
Good point.
And
I like
in the immortal words of Forrest Gump, that's all I have to say about that.
this guy.
Well
This
done.
guy.
Well done, Nick.
Look, I'm gonna go ahead and say it because I think honestly, I'm gonna go to some points that you said before. You talked about Brister. You talked about Fuller. Will, aren't these two guys that we talked about coming into the draft?
Yeah, love
These are
Brister.
guys that we really were after. Brister out of Penn State, and if I'm not
Yes.
mistaken, isn't Fuller out of Washington?
Gordon.
Is that?
What's
Gordon's out of
Kyler Gordon?
Kyler
Gordon. Yeah.
Kyler Gordon.
So these guys.
Number 6, brother. Number 6 and number 9. Remember those numbers and remember those names.
Oh, absolutely.
Put some respect on that, sir.
But look, these are guys that we were looking at. These were guys before the season that we wanted. And honestly, as our secondary has big issues, these are guys that we definitely think could help us improve. Honestly, I think it's kind of similar. We need to establish the run ourselves. We need to continue to run the ball so we can give Carson Wentz some time with the play action and get the ball to some of those receivers. And as far as we got to stop. We have to make your quarterback, who you guys have talked about, make him beat us. I'm 100% Herbert and Montgomery. We saw what they did when they played the Packers. When Montgomery's in the game, he balls out. We've got to stop that running game and allow your one receiver, Darnell Mooney, to have a day. That's it.
we get N'Keal Harry back though, and I'm not saying he's going to ball out, but having N'Keal Harry at least on the opposite side of Mooney is going to help a little bit. That's all I'm going to say.
As Jared said it right there, he thinks he's going to have a sneakily balls out absolutely this reason. So hey, we'll see. But Delilah, what are your thoughts?
Hey, I want to say thank you, Jared, for the comment. But basic for me, I think the key to victory is Justin. I think that honestly, I think that he needs to step up his game and really look at that field better and build on what he did last week. We know that he can connect with Mooney. I still don't know why we're not using Komet more because he can catch. So I feel like the fact that we're not using our tight end, who every year improves because he goes to tight end university, with the best tight ends in the league. And I'm like, I don't know why we're not playing him more. So for me, I feel like our key to victory is to actually have a great passing game, not just running. The kid's got to pass and he's got to hit those big yards. Mooney's got to do one of those beautiful catches that he did last week, which was ridiculous catch, right? We saw it, right? He beat the defender. It was gorgeous. But yeah, I think our key to victory is Justin, and that we actually enhance our passing game, and that we use Mooney. We use our guy that's coming back, and we use Komet more. I still don't know why we don't use him more as a tight end because he actually can get it done. He just needs to be included in these play schemes. So that to me is the key to victory, honestly, is to open up that passing game because the running game alone isn't going to get it done.
Will, what do you think?
Not against your guys.
I think it's interesting. We're kind of all on the same page here. We're this game is going to be determined in the trenches. Both of us say it's whose running game is going to do better. And that's kind of, so I don't want to have to repeat, some of the stuff that y'all have said, but I'm with it. I think either team's running game is going to be key to open up what the passing team can, the offense for the other team can be. I'm not as concerned about Chicago's pass rush this year. I don't know what's going on with Robert Quinn, but he's not getting nearly the sacks. Maybe not having Khalil Mack and is having the effect on him or not. And so I'm just looking to see Washington, have an offensive explosion because I think you are going to have Carson Wentz get some time to throw the ball. Maybe Tyler Larson coming back will help the center position a little bit, but I also think it's the Ron Rivera effect. He's going to be in Chicago where he had his career. His team is backed up against the wall. This is the time Ron gels his team together and he somehow brings them together and rises. And so that's where I just kind of see, Ron figuring out a way with this. Oh man, Delilah, did I make you mad? She left.
This isn't Rudy. Okay, you're not going to cheer him when he gets off the field and run it. Give me a break, man.
He cares more about this game.
Ron's coming back to Chicago. That's where he played his career.
You wait.
Give me a break.
Wow. Well, look,
Wow.
do you guys cheer
You were
him?
great. I'm sorry. Tech issue. We're good.
Okay.
We're good.
Do you guys cheer him when he comes? I mean, it's been years since he's been there. You know what I mean? Do you cheer him when he comes to this on the sideline? You guys don't have any hatred for him.
No, I don't hate Ron Rivera at all, but you know, he played for us great, but he doesn't play for us anymore. He's coaching the other team. I mean, my loyalty is with Chicago. I'm just saying, like, Ron was great, played middle, linebacker. He was fine, but he's not with us anymore, and he's the coach on the other team.
Yeah.
And again, Will,
we do respect him.
Yeah, go ahead, Delilah. Tell him,
we
Delilah.
do respect
Give it
them.
to
The
us
same
straight.
thing. Like when Lovey comes back, he gets a lot of love from us. You know, he did take us to a Super Bowl, so it's not like, there's no hate on that. So whenever former Bears come back, like especially guys who were good on our team and helped us, like people forget Ron Rivera started that defense that Vic Fangio took over and just blew up and stuff. But he built the beginnings of that because he was our defensive coordinator before that.
Yeah.
So it's like, so there's no hate. So hopefully, I still want to win though. I'm with Nick on that, but we wouldn't boo him or anything. We're not like that.
Oh, we're gonna win. That's fine. We're gonna win.
Wow.
Like, I'm not worried. I'm just being honest. I'm feeling confident. I've been, as you know, I've been having a good week, and that good week is going to continue tomorrow when our beloved Bears stomp all over the hearts of you Washington Commander
you hear
fans.
This?
And you'll be 1-5. You'll be crying. They'll be calling for Ron's job.
Oh,
yes.
Yeah, no.
Right.
Yes,
I mean,
and
we lose
again. But again, you guys know I have nothing but respect for the both of you. But as of tomorrow, don't even talk to me. I don't want to hear from you guys till the game's over. So no, because then I will have my glory, and then we can talk all you want. So just know that I'm coming for you both, and it's it's going to be a great day tomorrow in Chicago. So, and as a matter of fact, real quick, as I told you guys, I'm actually going to be working the game, so I'm going to be at the stadium.
Cool.
Yeah.
So you might just get a couple of surprises from Big Nick in between and breaks or something. I may have to do a couple of live shots or something. So
nice.
Just beware, my friends. That's all I'm saying. Just beware.
Definitely.
Just beware.
Yeah. Well, look,
for sure.
We talked about it. We saw what Nathan said as he left the show, and I don't agree with it being that way.
What is? I mean, what is? No, okay. Even if he's trying to be funny, 41-0.
Yeah.
Come on, Nate.
Yeah.
Like even if you guys scored, I'm just saying, like, but come on, 41-0. If your defense was that good, you wouldn't be 1-4. Let's just be honest about it.
There you go.
So if you're shutting anybody out, it's probably the Pee Wee.
Yeah, we capped at 28 this year. We obviously can't seem to get past that. But look,
I mean, you might be able to shut out a college team or something. Maybe, I don't know.
Look, here we go. Right here. Delilah, I'm coming to you first.
Okay.
Score predictions. Washington going to Chicago. What is going to happen? What's the score going to be? Who's winning?
Chicago by a field goal.
Nice.
It's going to be low scoring. It's going to be like 21, 21 to like 24 or something like that. That's just been just following the pattern of both our teams. We don't seem to get into the 30s and 40s. So anyway, that's my take.
I can see that. Nick, what do you think?
Okay. Again, I'm beginning to be serious for a moment. I'm looking at not a very high scoring game either in terms of like point total, but I could see both teams coming in the 20s. So I'm going to say Bears 27, Commanders 20-21. 27-20-21. I'll try that. Go with that.
I like that. Will, what you think, man?
Yeah.
All right, I'm telling you, I think the offense is going to explode.
Yes, sir.
27-13.
Let's go.
Oh, there it is.
I think they're going to put it up.
I like it though. I liked it. Go ahead.
Oh yeah.
Go ahead, Sean. Let's hear from Sean Spencer now.
I'm not as confident in this Bears offense. I think our defense showed us something this last game, and I agree our offense is going to show up. I'm saying still capped at 28. I say 28-17. Washington walks in there, and Wentz shows up and shows out. Let's go.
I do have to say, and this is a shout out for the Let's Talk football community, is thank goodness to Andrew Faubert for letting us know how to stream this thing. I don't have Prime TV with our subscription that we got. So the fact that I'm able to, what do you say, stream East
Thanks,
live
Andrew.
is what hit the website, which has been wonderful, because otherwise I would not be able to watch this game.
Yeah. No, anybody in Chicago, Channel 50, our local station, is going to show the game if you don't have Prime.
Oh, that's
so
awesome.
If you're in Chicago, Channel 50 will be showing the game as well.
Gotcha. Jared says.
So hopefully everybody gets to watch.
Yeah. Jared says Bears 20 to 16.
Okay. Fair enough. I mean, again, I don't think we're in for, a shootout at 45-43. So
no.
I think that's all pretty good estimates, right? The 20s, somewhere in the 20s, we're good, right?
I think.
Now watch, we'll all be wrong. It'll be like 50 to 49 or something. You just see this great explosion of offense on both sides, and then
I think the better question is who will have the most penalties in this game, because last two games we've had 11 and 9.
Well, you know what I hope I don't see? Not that I want to start something, because I know we're probably towards the end of the show. As long as I don't see any bad roughing the quarterback calls, I'll be okay.
I agree.
That's all I'm saying. I don't want to see none of that going.
None of our quarterbacks are well liked by the NFL.
Right.
No. I mean, they'll call Justin Fields. You can probably slam him on top. You can give him a pile driver. They won't call it. It's like, come on. Give the kid a break. Would you? Like, geez. Because he's taking a few hits where you go, why aren't you throwing a flag?
Right.
That poor kid just almost had his head taken off. What are you doing?
Right.
But yet Tom Brady gets tackled. Oh, that's a flag. Roughing the passer.
They haven't reached that level of clout yet. They don't have the Tom Brady.
Yeah. Obviously, sir. Obviously, right. They're nowhere near that.
No, I think what's kind of fun about the game tomorrow, though, is the fact, y'all are excited to play us. Yep. We're sitting there we got the Bears. Here we go. Here's we're both excited, thinking, we can win this game. We got this one.
The reason why this game is really important for us, though, in all seriousness, is if we win, we're 3-3, and I don't think anybody would have seen that to start the season.
Right.
So if we can go 3-3, again, I'm not saying we're going to win out or anything, but 3-3, I think, does a lot for the confidence of the team as well.
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully, again, for our own sake, I hope we can pull out the W there, because again, going 3-3 at this point would be really good for us as a team, and it would at least validate some of the stuff that I had hoped would happen in, for the beginning of the season. So we'll see how she blows.
And on the flip side of that, if Washington fell to 1-5, my gosh, because then we got a long break before we play Green Bay. It's like that is going to be. I mean, that DC area is going to be lit on fire if that happens.
Yeah, that's
look,
true,
if that happens, okay, myself and Mr. Will Kramer need an award for coming out here week after week and trying to find reasons.
The positives and the reason to be optimistic.
Hey, you'll have a good pick. Got the positive.
Yeah, well, there it is. Let's not go down that road yet.
Delilah's giving you hope. You get a good pick, right? Delilah knows what's up. Delilah knows.
Honestly, I want the win. Obviously, I mean, we still got a lot of stuff going on. I do want to see your face if Carson Wentz has a day, Nick. And I just want to say, what's up now, baby?
Yeah, Nick does not like Carson.
Yeah, I can't wait for that. Let's go.
Not a fan. I'm not gonna lie. Not a fan. Didn't do well with the Colts. After Foles stole his job for the Super Bowl, he's never been the same. And again. Personally, I don't know the man, but his play on the field just doesn't impress me. I'm not going to lie. Not going to try to sugarcoat that in any way, shape, or form. And, again, I think part of Rivera's thing, man, at least Ron was being very honest. Whether he should have said it or not is another story, but Ron was being honest. You could tell in his face he was being honest. Because you know what? He had to accept Carson. You know what I'm saying? I don't think Ron really said, man, we need Carson Wentz. That's going to put us over. But you do what management tells you. They're the ones who pick the players, right?
Yeah, he is.
He's management.
Come on, man. But
he's the football CEO.
Was available, right, but of who was available last year, do you really think his number one choice? I'm just saying.
It was Trubisky, Mariota, and maybe Matt Ryan. And Matt Ryan wasn't going to come.
No, but you could have made him an offer.
After Russ.
We went after Russ and got
No, I know you went after Russ. And again, if you'd have landed, but then again, Russ is I don't know what's going on in Denver. That's another show for another time. But yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I think it came to be. I think they realized that we have to trade for someone because if we have to try and convince someone to come to our team, that's going to be challenging.
Exactly. That is a sign. That right. You're Will, honestly, that's the best thing you honestly could have said because you're 100% on that. Mm-hmm. No, it's true because that just shows you right there. We know we have to get somebody because nobody wants to come here.
Correct.
So we're going to have to trade for someone
that market.
To get
that are forced to be here.
Right.
Yeah, and again, I question sometimes too, because Eberflus and Poles, they didn't draft Justin either. And I'm not trying to say they're trying to say, I'm not trying to say it's a Nagy situation. But somewhere in the back of your mind, you got to think like, are these guys convinced about Justin Fields?
Correct.
Are they going to say, well, you know what? After this year, we're going to go and get our guy that we want because we're not sold on Justin. And so that's why I say I don't want what happened to Mitch to happen to Justin is all I'm saying. So I'm really hoping that Justin gets a fair shake to really prove what he can do because we all know the struggles we've had with our offensive line. As you said, we've got one receiver so far who's proven that he could actually catch the ball, and that's Mooney. We do get N'Keal Harry back. I don't know what N'Keal is going to do, but we'll see. And I just think, again, I hope the kid gets a fair shake before the new regime is like, well, maybe we got to go another direction. Let's get our quarterback in here, and then we'll do something. So I just, again, that's why I'm really curious. And the more victories we pile up, in that sense, I think helps Justin's case is all I'm saying. So I'm hoping that so I'm hoping that somehow pans out for us because I just don't want to see the kid just get thrown away after 2 years, especially with Nagy last year, and then coming in with this new regime this year and them giving up on him so quickly.
Right.
That's all.
Washington liked Justin Fields the most of those rookie quarterbacks that year. And that they just felt that the trade up from where they were was going to be too much to what they wanted to give up.
Too much,
Yeah, so should you all be unloading him? Golly, I don't need another Ohio State quarterback in DC. No.
Oh, man. All right, look. We got to let you guys go. Delilah, I want to give I want to give you real quick the last word on this. It's Chicago, Washington. We see all of us are Let's Talk Football people. Both of these shows started at the same time. I mean, how great is this, Delilah? We get to do these shows all the time, but now we actually are going to be all invested in this one game.
I love it. It's a good time. I can't wait to see all the, BS we'll be sending to each other in group chat. So that's going to be fun.
Yes, absolutely.
That group chat is going to be crazy tomorrow night. And at the ladies' show.
Yes, that's right.
I'll be live texting that.
Right.
That's another touchdown.
How you like that? Yo, so real quick, before we go, I'm going to let both of y'all tell where you're going to be. Delilah, you said you had the ladies' show. Talk to us. What time is that and where people can find it.
So we go on a little earlier than the other shows. Most of the shows. We go on at 6:30 Central, which is 7:30 Eastern. So that's when we go on. And we basically and that's pretty much it. We follow the same flow. We'll do like usual notes, calls, lady in the NFL, that kind of stuff. So it'll be a good time.
Great stuff. All-star
Come see us before the game.
Yes, perfect.
Definitely. Yes, I can't think of a better way to start my Thursday than watching you guys and then watching the Chicago Bears take the L. Yes. My guy, Nicholas Rosario, where can we find you, my guy?
Well, as I said, I'm working the game tomorrow, so you will find me at Soldier Field doing my happy dance when my Bears stomp all over your Commanders.
Nope.
No, but like I said, I will try my best. I don't know how it's going to go because I haven't worked in that stadium since 2003. So if I get a chance, though, and I get a little break, I'm definitely going to try to send out a couple of videos and give you guys updates on what's happening there. So
sounds good.
Look for that. Hopefully I'll be able to do that because I think that'd be fun. But, again, in the spirit, and you guys know I just love giving you crap. In all seriousness, as long as nobody gets hurt, everybody, comes away from this game without injury, without incident. Let's just go play the game, and may the better team, the Bears, win.
Washington.
That's all I'm asking for.
I'll take it.
Big Bears, big W.
Well, yo, we got to send a special shout out to two-thirds of the Let's Talk Football, the Roundtable group, our dear friends, Nicholas, I Want the Smoke Rosario, Delilah Crespo, host of Diversity with Delilah. I love you guys. You guys were the first ones after Let's Talk Football that I said, would you all want to do a show with me? And you guys were super receptive. It is absolutely, I cannot believe where it's gone from what we started with back when.
Yeah.
You guys are doing an
True.
amazing job. We appreciate
Yes.
you.
Oh, thank you.
Unfortunately,
The
you
show's
guys
awesome.
are going to have to take that L tomorrow. And then I hope we talk about it next week.
Keep doing that. You're going to have that fingerprint on your forehead. You're just going to be like this for the rest of your
Okay. All right, Nick. See, Nicholas Rosario has been taken out. Yo, ladies and gentlemen, we have to go ahead and let you go. We so appreciate you being here. We appreciate our guests, Nicholas.
Thank you,
and
guys.
Delilah.
Thank you, guys.
Yes.
Seriously.
Thank you, everybody.
Appreciate you.
It's been fun.
Thank you
Thanks,
for having
everybody
us
in the
on.
comments as
We
well.
appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
Yep. Absolutely. You guys are the best.
Absolutely.
Love you guys.
So
Thank
peace
you.
out, guys. We will definitely see y'all soon. But ladies and gentlemen, hey, we are going to go ahead and let you go. Will, hey, I like it. I like it.
It's nice to be able to have a game so quickly. We don't have to wait till Sunday. Let's get this over with and know if we're going to be in misery for the rest of the season.
Right. But look, that was one of the reasons why I didn't get too bent out of shape, because it was like there is such a turnaround. It is, okay, Thursday and the Bears. So this could happen. Like, I'm excited. I'm excited, man. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have got to let you go. We appreciate you guys staying here, watching us. Shout out to the people watching. Andrew, Jarrett was in the comments. Anton was in the comments. And a bunch of people. Thank you so much for being with us, guys. We're going to go ahead and let you go with all the shows we have in the Let's Talk Football community. We added the Let's Talk Football NFC South show and Nathan's Big Nate Sports Talk podcast to the mix. We have a bunch of shows going on. For me, Mr. Sean Spencer, my guy, Mr. Capitals over here.
That's right.
Will Kramer. Yo, we are Washington Football Weekly. Let's get that dub tomorrow. Hail to the Commanders, baby. Let's go.